pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Any issues with the minutes of the last meeting? I entertain a motion.
Motion.
Second. Jim, Ray and Jim. Any thoughts, concerns? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Kim, you want to give us a treasurer's report?
Sure. I passed on to everybody the February 28th balance sheet and profit and loss statement from the EBT. The only comment he made was that we don't have the appraisal values completely in yet to give us credit for that equity, but as soon as we do, he'll update it. And then, I don't know if Mike, you want to talk more about this, but yesterday we finally got a little bit of grant money in our bank account, reimbursement for expenses that Mike had submitted for reimbursement from October 10th forward, so it's about $35,000. We have $50,000 in our CD. We did have to take some out of that for operating expenses. We should be getting a check from county auditor on Tuesday until the rest of the grant money comes in, so just plug along.
Good news. Statement.
Anybody have any questions?
I move to accept as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
Ray, any questions or concerns? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. The officers, I think we're down to $5,000 each a year now. I thought $10 was too much. Doubled it?
Can I get back on it?
Not now.
A little too late, I see.
Is there a motion for the chairman?
Motion?
Kim, is there a second? Second.
Nominating.
Anybody else other than myself? Everybody okay with that? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. I'd like to make a nomination for the vice chairman of Pete Campion. Is there a second?
Second?
Any concerns or anybody else have anybody else? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Nomination for the secretary.
Mark, you still interested? I will, but not do it.
I'll make motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Any concerns, discussion, additions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Nominations for treasurer.
Nominate Kim.
Is there a second, Mark? Any concerns, additions? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
If she's still.
God bless.
If you're still.
Thank God she wants it. So carried. Thanks, everybody, for that. Mark, Mike, you want to update us on the
Yep,
demolition contract?
yeah, the demolition contract with the city of Utica is moving forward. I was hoping to have it in hand, but we still don't have it. It's close. We submitted 3 times to the state for our demolition projects and that contract. The last thing that came back is the state wanted a soil management plan. I didn't know what it was, so I researched it, and we got one from one of the other counties. But we have to have that either attached to the contract with the city of Utica, or we have to have a letter for each property that we're demolition from the city of Utica saying they agreed to the soil management plan. They've agreed, the engineer agreed to make it part of the addendum to the contract. So it kind of covers all of them being in the contract. I'm just waiting for the city attorney to get that back to me. They're kind of dealing with their budget right now, so we'll see. So, but it looks like we're going to have that. It was agreed upon by the city engineer. So, any questions on that anyway? once we get the approval to do the demolitions, I'll have to contact you or what, if it's before the next meeting to decide where you want to go first, how you want to tackle these. There's 6 properties we're going to demolition. Or if you want me to handle it, whatever you want to do.
How long will it take, Mike, and what time frame do they give us?
They want to get at it now because it's between blacktop season and, springtime, they could get some of these projects done. So they want to get at them and get them done. They'll get all 6 done, I believe, this spring.
Okay.
Do we have locations for those 6? Which jurisdiction? Nothing?
Yep. We have there's 2 in the city of Little Falls, 1 in the village of Herkimer, another one. There's 1 in East Herkimer, it's a trailer. There's 1 in the village of Billion, and there's 1 in the village of Frankfurt. Is that 6?
You don't need to contact us, Mike, if they're all 6 are on the queue.
The city may say we're gonna do it this way, which is fine with me. But I don't wanna step out unless you guys say go ahead and do it,
I would think with their crew, it's not gonna take long for them to do them anyways.
No, they have everything in place. They have their own, the air monitoring, everything there in place. It's part of their group, so.
Yeah, I don't think it'll take them long. I don't have a problem with you just saying, go ahead and do it.
We provide the fill there, Mike, or
They do everything,
everything?
Yep.
Soup to nuts.
That's what's good.
A to Z, and then they walk away. They give us a bill. It's a detailed bill, exact cost, plus 15% per the contract. That's the admin fees. That's what they're making on doing it for us. So they'll give us a breakdown of hourly wages of each employee that's there, so.
And the state's okay with that, Mike, right?
Yep.
It took a while to get there, right?
Yeah, we went back and forth with the state. She wanted justification why we weren't going with, sealed bids for minority women business enterprise things. And I explained that I did an analysis. It was cheaper to do it this way. And they said, send me that. And I did, and they agreed to let us do this, so.
They take care of utilities, disconnect and all that. We don't have to,
Everything.
you don't have to call.
Nope. That's their responsibility as soon as we get rolling.
I think that's a help, Jim, to us.
Yeah.
That way, we're not holding them up either.
Right.
No, if they got time to go, they can go, and if they can do 2 of them and then they come back, and it's up to them.
Right.
Do you think we should send a press release out the day we start?
I would.
I think the community still doesn't, some people do, but a lot of people in the community still don't know what we're up to.
Only the ones that do research and care know. The ones that are uninformed all the time will be the ones you catch with the press release.
Take some pictures,
Yeah.
throw them on.
Yeah, that's what
I think it's worth it.
Oh,
Get
absolutely.
it out there. Rehab projects update, Mike?
So accepted the 3 bids or the 2 bids, or did we do the 3? I forget it. But anyways, we have 3 projects. 2 of them sold for $1. One of them, we got a bid for $18,000. I'm just waiting for the paperwork back for that project. We're gonna close on the other 2 projects tomorrow at the lawyer's office. And from there, it starts the clock for them to get their projects done. One's in Mohawk, one's on Washington Street in Herkimer. And the third one that we're waiting for the paperwork to come in is the one in Ilion on State Street. So they're rolling, they're moving.
I may have forgot, what was the time frame that we gave them to?
The project that has 2 structures, the one contractor, he has a year to do the one, he has a year and a half to do the other.
Yeah.
The body can give a 6-month extension at your pleasure. It's built into, there's a development agreement that they have to sign. It's part of the mortgage that saying they're gonna do A, B, C, D, E. We're allowed to go in at certain points to check the progress of these projects, as well as the municipal codes. So I'll go in there with them whenever they want, and we'll look at the properties, make sure they're doing it.
You said that one contractor has 2 projects?
Yep.
So does this year and a half run concurrent, or is it
No, they're
finish
together.
one and then another?
No, they're together.
Just to be clear.
That's a good question.
Yeah, they're together. He has a crew, so he's anxious to get going. They're both big undertakings. I'll leave it at that. The house in Mohawk, the dining room roof has collapsed straight in, it's leaking. But he says he's done these projects for condemned properties. He's got engineering plans, rebuilt foundations or whatever needed to be done. Hey, if you want to go at it, go at it. It's better for us because it's a structure on the tax rolls, not a vacant lot. So if a contractor wants to rehab a property, go to that expense or that time to do it, I think we should go that way.
Yeah, plus the taxes would be higher on that than it would be on the vacant lot, so get them going, get quicker.
Who are you waiting on for the Village of Ilion? Oh, that one. Is it?
Can't think of the guy's name. Aaron Johnson.
Oh,
Yeah. He's been on it. He does
Oh, he's been-
projects from Utica, or I think he lives in Ilion, but he does a lot of projects in Utica.
oh,
So, but he has a bunch of rentals local. And that's what he's doing it for. He's buying it to use it as rentals, so. Anything else?
And the state's happy we're doing roads too.
The state really wants you
You know,
to,
they're okay with knocking stuff down, but they really want to.
they really want rehabs. And they don't, they don't care. They prefer you to spend more money, even though it's, say the property's worth 30,000 and they would rather you put in to tear it down, it might cost us 20. So in my estimation, it's cheaper to tear it down. They want you to rehab it, even if you have to put another 30,000 on top of that in. They want it. I kind of get it. Again, back to they want more properties on the rolls, more housing availability. So we'll look at that with the incoming in REM and the zombie list stuff, with the focus maybe on doing more rehab projects.
Any other questions? Any clean out updates, Mike?
The clean out contractors, there's only, I think we did we did three. The rest of them, we said we'll do with, anything that was demo, we're gonna let the demo just handle it. They can get at them now. It was, when we approved them, there was snow that day and heavy snow for several weeks afterwards. So they can get at the properties. I contacted them this week to get those projects done and cleaned up. So hopefully they're done in the next week or so.
No, go ahead with the board.
The next one's the ABO training. For those of you that have it, like Jimmy, get a copy of the sheet that you had this, either John would have got it or someone would have got it. If you've done for tobacco or any of the other trainings, when you go online to do it, you get a notice that you've completed the training. So get me a copy of that when you do it. If you have it done already, get me a copy of it. You have to log in. It takes about, I don't know, what was it? Kim did it with me.
Like an hour and a half.
Or, yeah, you just listen to it. It's just a girl talking about.
Have they scheduled, Mike, anything? I tried to get in and I was locked out. They said the sessions were closed.
I have the list, but maybe they do close, so.
And I think it was like for this month or next month. I don't know if they came up with more.
They only do about 20 slots.
Oh, yeah, they are.
Yeah.
This is the January 29th.
Yeah, it's,
I'll send you an email with the updated list. Let me make a note.
yeah, because by the time I went on and closed out, I think there was like 4 sessions listed or.
I got an email on it, but you're saying there's a certificate?
That's not a certificate, it's just an email that you completed it, right? Yeah, that's what I need. I'll
I
just
think
put
with
that in
all
the
the
file.
boards in this state, quasi and whatever, they would have more than 4 20-person sessions.
And they're pushing it
People
here like crazy, right? All over the state.
What's
With
the
20
difference?
people each.
What's the difference if it's virtual? What's the difference how many, I just,
Right.
Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it? And I think that, either the one we watched, I think it's good for 3 years.
Yeah.
So, once you do this thing, it's good for 3 years.
You'll send that out, Mike?
Yes, I'm gonna get the email out of the updated list of the trainings.
Did we have anything to do with the audit today? We're gonna talk about that.
I thought it was on there.
Briefly, yeah. Chip's here.
I know, that's what I mean. I don't see it on my agenda.
It's on numbers, looks like 7.
6 or 7, transfer report.
Sorry about that. I got a different agenda. From you, I don't.
I give you the one you make notes on.
Can we just give you guys a raise?
Sure, absolutely.
Can we just give you guys a raise?
This is Jim Clark from Angelo. He's here to present the audit for us. Thank you, Chip.
Thank you.
I want to make sure, I might not have brought enough copies, but I want to make sure
I
you
think,
have them.
I have one too.
You had one too, okay, that's.
You can get one to pass around, Chip, if you like.
We got,
Is that-
we
You can
got-
get one to.
Well, I want to make sure that all the board members have enough. Does everybody have a financial statement in front of them? You do?
I don't think we have to do this, Rich,
You don't have it? Yeah, I think I did, yeah.
It's the same one you have. Oh, yeah. I got
I
that.
got an extra one. Anybody that's-
I can make copies if someone wants one.
No, I think everybody's got one. Perfect, I think we're good.
All right, good.
All right. Well, good morning. My name is Chip Clark with Archangel and Company. And I'm the engagement partner on the land bank audit, as well as the tobacco audit as well. And what you have in front of you is the annual financial statement for the December 31st, 2024 fiscal year. It's only a 7-month financial statement, so you'll see that for the 7 months ending December 31st, and then next year we'll get into the full 12 months. So the first page, the first document you have is required communication with governance. If there's any difficulties or disagreements with management on the audit, we would note those here. There was none. We were able to perform our audit procedures effectively, test for compliance effectively, and opine on the compliance. And it's a clean letter relative to compliance. Next, we get into the overall financial statements, and the first page, page 1, is the opinion letter, and this is what's called an unmodified clean opinion, which is the highest level of opinion that an audit provides. Basically means that the financial statements can be relied upon with reasonable assurance. And then the page, on page 3, we're required, because of it's a governmental entity, required to do an audit in accordance with government auditing standards. It basically requires us to do some testing of transactions and get an understanding of the internal controls of the organization and test transactions to make sure those are full implemented and effective. And then on page 5, this is a PAAA or an ABO compliance item relative to policies and procedures. This one is specific to investments, to ensure you're required to test to make sure that the organization isn't investing in things that aren't compliant with New York State regulations. And we were able to do that effectively, and there's no investments. You just have one CD, so that's in compliance with the authority's budget office and PAAA. Next, we get into the overall financial statements, and you'll see we're required to do a financial statement that's in compliance with government accounting standards, GASB, and that requires us to have what's called an MD&A, and then also a full set of financial statements based on the full accrual. These financial statements are going to be part of the county's financial statements in the end. So both, just like ACE and this is what's called a blended component unit. So it becomes part of the county's financials, which requires us to comply with all GASBs. Even though you have an application right now with the IRS for your nonprofit status, we haven't received that acceptance yet. Obviously, there'll be a problem there, but we're still required to do government financial statements in order to be in compliance. And you'll see that on page, you'll see the MD&A on page 6 of the financial statements, right on through page 8 of the financial statements, is what's called MD&A. And all that really is, and especially the first year, it gets a little difficult with the MD&A because the summary, and you look at prior year, current year comparisons, and explain to the reader the financial statements, kind of what occurred between the 2 years. Well, you're only 1 year, so it's a 1-year MD&A. Next year, there'll be more information in it, and we'll explain why certain things went up, why your assets went up, why your liabilities went up, or whatever. And so you'll see that in the MD&A, but it's meant to be kind of a quick summary version of the financial statements for a reader of the financial statements. But I'll get right into page 9, which is your statement of net position. And here you see your total current assets of 53,806. Majority of that is made up of cash, 37,709, which is both a CD and a checking account. And then a grant receivable, that was based on expenditures through December 31st of 2024. And like a grant receivable for that, and also liability of 35,000 payable to a vendor for demolition, leaving you with a total net position of 18,806 at the end of the year. Got any questions as I go through these? Feel free and ask them as I go through. And then on page 10, we have your statement of revenues, expenditures, and changes in that position. Here you'll see total revenues of 78,204. Majority of that is your grants and contracts of 103,411. Loss on sale of property, 36,037. You just had one property that you sold. And then in-kind contribution of 10,100. And what that is the land bank's office. We have to estimate what that contribution is from the county to the land bank. And so that estimate is based on reasonable square footage costs, as well as some other items that are in the contract between the land bank and the county. So an estimate. You'll also see that down below as an in-kind expenditure. So what it is, it's a revenue to the land bank and also expenditure to the land bank. So it's got no net impact on the overall financials, but required as part of GASB financial statements. Again, total expenditures, 59,398, excess revenues over expenditures of 18,806. And that's your total net position. And then next year, you'll also see a prior year column in that too. So we'll give you more information as to how the land bank did. And then on page 11, you'll see a statement of cash flows, the ins and the outs of the cash. And then pages 12 through 14 are required note disclosures, and get into a little bit more detail as to how the audit's put together and the accounting and auditing procedures that we follow as part of the audit. It's a pretty simple set of financial statements here. And then I think next year when we have comparatives, we'll probably be more informative for you as board members. I'll open it up for any questions. There are a few things. This will need to get uploaded to the ADO by March 31st. I've got a good handle on that. There's also an annual report that goes that will need to be uploaded as well. So we'll be in compliance with the ADO regulations with these financial statements being uploaded on time. Any questions?
I just want to say how easy it is, what budget was working with our team, as well as we have for many, many years on our regular county audit. And this team doing a great job for us, so thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thanks, Mike. All right.
Great. We have a motion to accept the audit. Not approve, accept. Motion to accept. Mr. Muller? Cindy, second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Mike, is an other. At what point will you grab Ray and Mark with Kim and look at the properties for next year? I don't mean to get ahead of us.
No, it's on.
I just thought it'd be good to have.
Yeah, it's one of my notes.
Okay.
I think we'll do our meeting like we do, and they're welcome to be at that meeting where we meet with Kim. It used to be, who's the lady doing it now? Linda, myself, Ray, and who's on that? Mark. Lorraine's there to review those properties. Once she's ready, we'll make contact with you, and I'll send a notice that we can make it open to the board.
Anybody wants to.
I'll send a notice to everybody when that meeting's gonna be, so that you're welcome to come to it and
About
review
3
the-
hours last time, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
I thought you guys were gonna be 10 minutes. You were still here.
We review the current tax foreclosed properties. So, when are looking, you think, Ken?
Well, the court's still entertaining payments, but we're trying to get that shut down. And then we can get our final list, take our pictures, and then should be, once we get the list, we should be able to take pictures within a week or so.
Yeah, sometime in April, I would think, right? Yeah. I'll send a note out to him when we get that.
Okay, good. Anybody have anything? Like, have any more?
Yep. I'm just making a note. The contract's been approved by the county, between the county and the
Yep.
land bank. Those that are in the legislature, the contract has been approved by the legislature for 3 years between the land bank and Herkimer County. So that's in place now. So we're in business for a little bit longer. That was the last thing I had on my sheet.
Anybody else?
Just got a question.
Sure.
On that, what house is next on the one, Herkimer one of the six there, which one's
Pigtail Alley,
address?
Bellinger Street, what is it?
Bellinger Ave?
Yeah, right here.
Did you say 214?
216 or 214.
Okay, yeah, I know which one you're talking.
Yeah, it's 216 Bellinger.
Yeah, and then which one's being repurposed or?
Rehab is
Oh,
Tim Music's old property over
Okay.
on Washington Street.
good choice, yeah. Thank you.
Well, they, again, all the piping had been stripped out of the building. It's a mess, but he wants to rehab it. Rehab it. Location's good.
Location's good, I think
Very
it'll come out nice.
Right.
Thank you.
We'll adjourn till, is it May 22nd?
Is it a Thursday or Wednesday?
Thursday.
Yeah, is it a Thursday or a
I
Wednesday?
just checked.
Can I have a motion to adjourn? Pete, second?
Yes.
Cindy,
It is a Thursday.
all in favor? Opposed? We're adjourned. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, everybody.
Mike, are you trying to make me think I'm crazy? I got up this morning, I was coming here, and then I looked at my agenda and it says Thursday. and I
That's
said,
2 months in a row, or 2 meetings in a row. We're on day versus day.
Sorry. I think the members.
Be called.
No, maybe you too.
Pete.
Yeah.
You're vice chairman again.
Okay, thanks. That's what they thought.
I'm not, but you can look at it. I'll look at it after.
So.
May 27th. No, you're doing a lot.
A lot. Listen, I got up, and I put my better clothes on to do the service call, and I looked at the weather and I said,
What's this for?
For the 39 properties.
39?
Oh, I'm at 39, that's 40.
Next door.
Next door.
Yeah, when we get it tore down, what is one?
Right. I just put it in there to see what you want to do.
Yeah, we're going to have another discussion on this. Joining all-
Right. So that's what my letter points out.
Heads up, so we'll be looking at that.
That's where that is. And I know that maybe the neighbor, but I'm more looking at it, if we both have side yards.
And that's up to the group.
Right, what
We're
they
gonna
want to do.
discuss it, and hopefully, we'll come to a consensus of the joining on the first bid.
Right.
And then, if both parties want it, you split it, if one party wants it, you go ahead.
Beautiful. So I put that in there. You tell me
Easiest
what
and
to
best.
do. I'm Charlie Street.
Jim Wallace.
I think I've-
Mayor of St. Johnsville?
For a while. I know. Oh, God.
Say, definitely.
Hey, why?
I wasn't calling around.
What's happening, like, the Supreme Court had a ruling. Where the Supreme Court ruled it was a case in Minnesota, right? I was gonna say Minnesota.
It's changed.
It's changed, right. So now are you gonna have to track all
You gotta remember
those?
the county, this is different.
Yeah, I get it.
No.
But I wanted to get.
We have our say.
So I think
I don't think we can.
There's ways to say, like, you're not gonna make me keep
We used to
everything.
bring 6 or 800,000 into the county. Yeah, now it's going back.
And what a nightmare, because most of these situations, the reason it's there. That went nowhere. In other words, grandma died, and everyone else, and they don't want your
Nobody
phone call.
cared.
They don't want your phone
We
call.
sent 32 letters.
I wondered how that was gonna work.
No, that's where we are right now.
Yeah.
But there's other people suing to go back 6 or 8 years.
Oh,
So that's important. That would cost the county probably $8 million.
Oh,
great. Yeah.
That's only 1%.
Oh, yeah, you almost can't. When I saw that, I'm like, oh dear.
It's one thing to go back 2 years, okay, go back 6 or 8.
Even the 2 years is,
But, uh,
you would staff up,
Yep.
you gotta do all that work, and then, and again, if you look at it, if you look at what the property is, the reason it's, in the practical world, the reason it's here is that nobody, the son might live across the street.
Yep.
I don't wanna know. So, some of the stuff is hard. Well, pleasure meeting you.
Nice to meet you.
Always great to come in and see everyone working.
I'll be in contact.
Let me know, thank you.
You know that.
I think it was. No.
Like, I let you know.
Yeah, you can. I can,
I know, I
I can email you the list. I have it online, so
Yes.
it might be easier to, if you have it at home, get a few minutes, you can review it.
Yes, I'd rather do that.
And then make a note, you don't forget.
Yeah.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, 'cause
So now we
there's
can go
quite
to
a few.
YouTube and watch this, right?